All right, everyone. Welcome to the Dragon on a Tuesday night, last day of the month in September 2014. We got the four horsemen on tonight, and I will let them introduce themselves, starting with Chad.
Oh, I'm Chad.
Where can we find you at, Brother Chad? Where can the good
I like
folks
the
find
internet.
you?
I like the internet, so I like a few places on the internet, mostly Twitter and YouTube, and sometimes here, of course, on the Green Dragon.
There you go. All the time on the Dragon. Brother Joe.
Okay, Joe Dokes here, otherwise known as MWI Prepper. I like all the people on the panel, plus some of the ones yet to come in, and I like good conversation. However, I will be one of the ones who will be just listening contently. Next.
Hi, I'm Kelly M. or Kelly Miley. I enjoy doing chats and hanging out and meeting new people.
You want to give them your YouTube channel if you have one?
I do. It's just Kelly M. Kelleym.
There you go. Yeah, all right, everyone. We're going to have some more people come in later, I'm sure. Then send out some links. I'm sure some people are going to be coming on. But like I said, everyone, we all been listening to these. Many of us been listening to these stories, obviously. Tonight, focusing on Ebola. I'm sure a lot of us are concerned, and a lot of us are wondering what the hell's going on. I don't know if you guys read any stories today on the Chad. Did you happen to catch anything?
Oh, sure, I've seen the chatter. I mean, that's, it's everywhere you look. You can't even if you're trying to avoid it, you can't help but see. It's just everywhere. Well, let me take that back. It's everywhere in all forms of media, whether it be mainstream media or social media or wherever. It's just everywhere. But that's just talk still. This is still just talk. I think this concerns me for more than the obvious reason that it could be true. It could be very true, and it could be very orchestrated. I think that's what concerns me.
Right. Jojo?
I have seen quite a few videos and reports on it. They're pretty brief and to the point. The gentleman who is diagnosed with the Ebola virus did come from Western Africa. He's here visiting relatives in Texas, and that's about as far as they go.
Just before I get the K Dog, I just want to introduce everyone. Brother Stan joined us. Stan, what's going on, buddy?
Not too much. How's it going?
Doing good, buddy. Thanks for joining us. We are getting into the main topic tonight. We are talking about Ebola. Obviously, we've been talking about it most of, we had a little private chat. We've been talking. Want to make a little special shout out to my brothers over there, Brother Truth. What's going on? Brother Cowboy, Brother Mutt. Just wanted to say what's going on. I hope to see you all later tonight. And I'll get to the shout outs here after we hear from Kelly and Stan. What you all spin?
Stan, if you want to go first, I'll let you go.
For the most part, I'm getting just as educated as you guys. I just heard about it myself today as far as the newest outbreak. So, and right there, I've only heard headlines. So I'm just learning from you guys at this point.
I'm pretty much the same way. I was actually in the car when I heard it at first, so I didn't get a chance to read a lot of articles or anything. We were running errands and stuff like that. I'm really concerned for a couple of different reasons. One of them is kind of the same as Chad's, is evidence. Truth or false flag, always on my mind these days. The other is I'm supposed to take a trip to Disney World, and we all know what huge populations go there. And if this is now on our shores, I'm a little concerned about being around that many people.
Yeah. Well, they do say don't panic because the same people who couldn't contain it in Africa have assured us they can contain it in Texas.
Okay. It's very interesting.
And right there, if they've contained it, why is it spreading?
You already know my spin. Like I said, I just don't understand.
Here's something I know from personal experience. To take a dog from the United States and fly to, say, Australia, there's a 6 months quarantine period for the dog because the United States has rabies, whereas Australia does not. So you're going from one country to another, and it changes everywhere you go. But just to take a dog to Australia, the dog has to stay in quarantine 6 months for fear of rabies. Yet you got Ebola, come on in, no problem.
That's where I think you have to look at modern day transportation, where within 72 hours we're across the other side of the globe or what have you, versus travel back in the day, they traveled by cargo ship.
Jojo.
Yes, sir.
You playing your classics again, brother?
That wasn't me.
Oh, I thought you were playing my classic jam.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, they traveled by cargo ship, right? And you'd have that incubation period at sea.
Well, here today, we do have that global travel, and it's just, here it is.
Yeah. Like we travel from continent to continent, a disease will spread exponentially if it's not completely contained.
Again, my deeper concern is that this is part of a plan. I mean, when these people stand up and say they're seriously wanting to depopulate the planet Earth by 90%, I didn't think they were going to do it with bullets, or that would be expensive. So you're going to do it with something like this, and now here something like this comes. So, surprise.
I'm ready for it, man. Whatever. Throw. I tell Obama, throw all you got at me, buddy.
Tony.
Throw your ass in the pit.
Throw your best at me, Obama.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck this.
Like my boy True said, get your gas mask ready, my brothers. Get your gas mask ready.
I say fucking. We already got the cure for Ebola if you're American, so.
And that was something I was wondering. I haven't been watching the news on it today, like I said. Has it mutated at all since it left Africa to what we're seeing here in this individual that's in the U.S.? Or are they saying it's the exact same strain that they were having such trouble with in Africa?
No, they're saying that it's actually mutating on a elevated scale.
So
I'd have to go back and look at the report, but they're saying that it's mutating within compared to the way it used to, it's like rapidly accelerating in its mutation.
if that is the case, then what good would any vaccine be that has already been made?
And that's a good point.
I'm just curious.
Something to me really sounds like that. To me, sounds really suspicious in the fact that it shouldn't be mutating that quickly. To me, it sounds like it could be even engineered. But I mean, I'm just speculating, right?
We're saying they're going to have vaccines for us all to take. That'll be coming next. That will be happening next. I mean, God forbid we hear the truth. Who knows what the fuck is really going on?
Well, and that's what I was just thinking, because we hear so much lately about vaccines and how dangerous they can be to our young and our old. So here we're going to throw another, not heavily tested vaccine at them. And, is that going to be dangerous to the population in and of itself?
You've also got to look at the model of problem solution, right? They're creating the problem and the solution. So is it something that you want to begin with?
All a bunch of nasty shit on it.
It doesn't really make sense as to think that they would want to kill us, to kill 2 million people, or 80% of the population, or whichever. Would that be? What is there? 7 billion right now?
Yes.
Okay, 5.5 billion people they want to kill. They're not going to do that by keeping somebody like that in a hospital and trying to cure them. They would do better by taking them on a tour of the United States, let them shake hands with everybody and kiss babies and all that shit.
Right, but for plausible deniability, they're going to have to make it look like they've actually made an attempt to control it, right?
When did that ever work? Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And I think that's why they used a virus, was in order for them to not be able to, say, track down one certain person that's responsible for it.
Do you think now maybe they will put restrictions on who can come and go to and from West Africa?
I think they should do that anytime you travel to a different continent.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Chad said, you have to have an incubation period for an animal. Why shouldn't you have to have an incubation period for a human?
Right. Only because they've been doing it for so damn many decades. It's no big deal. But now with this, they've got to change this stuff.
Well, I know that, my husband does some overseas traveling, and some of the places he was supposed to travel for, they had a whole host of, well, you have to get this vaccine, you have to get this vaccine, you have to get this vaccine when you come back, and yet we're letting other people come into the country without checking for any illnesses.
Right.
And to me, that makes absolutely no sense at all.
Look at this
I was going to say, it's not just animals that have to go through a quarantine period. Even the stuff that comes back, or vegetables and stuff that come shipped over, they have to be checked out, inspected, and everything.
That's very true.
Well, not all of them are A1 either. They get caught with the listeria and a few other things, E. coli, etc. Where the hell is Obama anyway? That question came up earlier today. Haven't heard it from him in quite a while.
Well, oh gosh, where was he? I heard a news report, something about that there was a gunman, a felon with a gun on the elevator with him somewhere. Was it Denver or Atlanta or something? Gosh, I
Who the
wish I
hell?
could remember.
They don't let the president on the elevator with anybody, and vice versa.
I don't
Yeah.
know what the Secret Service is doing. it's
They
starting
are
to
talking
boggle my
crazy.
mind.
To
They
me,
are
it's
talking
starting to
crazy
sound like
lately.
Sorry, Joe?
Huh?
I said, sorry, I walked over you there.
Oh no, no problem.
I was going to say, to me, it sounds like they're setting them up for an assassination. You know, with the breaches
Well,
of security and it just seems too hinky. One of the best security forces in the world allows something like that to happen.
Let's see.
Apparently, repeatedly.
Yeah.
Um, According to his schedule today, he was supposed to mainly be in the White House today, it looks like. You can actually go online and find out what his schedule is each day if you were
Oh,
interested enough.
WhiteHouse.gov.
It's yes.
Yeah, that's where I go because they'll do like the press releases and everything from the White House there. You can check them out.
Yes, and it does let you view it by the day what his agenda is. He apparently has a very nice 10 to 5:45 schedule.
If this was something that had jumped out of, some new thing, new form of flu or a natural thing, it would be one event. But to have the exact same thing on which these people hold a patent on, to have that be the exact thing that is we're experiencing an outbreak of, doesn't that seem a little suspicious to anyone?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of suspicious elements to it.
Well, I don't know how patents work, but I want to ask, do you have to have complete directions and mapping out of every step of it, or can you go, okay, here's a rough draft type of thing of what it is, and I want a patent on it before anybody else gets a patent on it, because I don't know how that works.
That is an interesting question, and it varies, I guess, depending on what it is you're patenting. I mean, some people are patenting ideas. Some people are trying to patent genetic sequences, like Monsanto, and I mean, so it gets. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an attorney that way, so that's a really specific question. I do know that the patent number is right here for the human Ebola virus species and composition and methods thereof. So, and I know that the applicant and inventor, Jonathan S. Towner, these other four guys, and I know they published it on April 29th of 2010. They took out a patent on human Ebola virus. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's.
Yeah, that's one of the other things that I'm waiting for is for somebody with a patent on a virus like that to actually come out and sue people with the virus.
Yeah, well, I was asking earlier on Twitter do they get paid per person infected or just for the people who die?
That's an interesting thought.
You want to ask everyone how many, ask your question, Cal, what you asked us in the previous private chat?
Oh, the number thing that we were
Yeah.
talking about?
Sure.
Oh, this just got brought up in a private chat that we were having, and it was kind of how many people do we think are going to have contracted it and died by the end of this year? And that would be confirmed and unconfirmed, because we know that there was lots of unconfirmed cases in Africa before, people buried them before they were necessarily confirmed and everything. The numbers varied considerably on what people thought. So
Factors involved, right?
yeah, now that it's here in the U.S., do we think this is going to be an isolated case, or do we think that this is going to be the start of something big? And if so, what are you guys thinking by the end of the year that we can be looking at?
Quarantine and martial law, lockdown on most major cities. Merely based on news reports, by the way, that there's now Ebola in your hometown. What can you do to protect your family? Show up at the post office tomorrow and register for a FEMA camp. That's what.
Okay. Do you have a certain number of people that you think are going to be affected by it by the end of the year?
Well, here's the thing. Hopefully it is just a ploy to lure people into FEMA camps. What's worse is that it's the real thing. They've unleashed the real thing. And then if that's the case, there'll be bodies in the streets.
Yeah, that's very scary.
And on the other end of the scale, if you look at it from, say, a sales standpoint, what better way to spur on an amount of sales to get yourself into the Christmas season and get yourself into the black, right?
Let me, General Banter said 50,000 by January, they say.
Who was estimating that, Chief?
General Banter said 50,000 by January.
Oh, welcome, Luke.
What's going on, mine Patriot Angel, Joe Sweatman? What's going on, Brother Third? 420 Homestead. Tommy Bulls. See who else is out there. Hardy Prep.
Okay.
And on and on and on and on. I know that's Brother Brown playing that music.
It's not
That's
me.
my man. What's up, Brother Brown? Long time. Welcome, baby. Welcome, welcome. 10 round. What's going on, brother? I sent you a link. 10 round. Mr. Max, what's going on, Max? Long time, buddy. Big Duke, what up, homie? I'll get you a link in a minute, Duke. Save America's Liberty.
There you go, Kelly.
Brother Brown just
thank you so
joined
much, Joe.
us.
Welcome.
And that link for the Ebola patent is over there as well. That's directly available from Google.
SKS Hugo, what's going on? And like I said, just want to give a shout outs to all the bartenders. What's going on? Brother Mule, Brother Red, Stanger. What happened to Tony? Where'd he go?
Disappeared, I think. Yep, he's gone.
Tony Tone. You can come back now, my brother.
You
All
got
right, let's see what everyone's talking about. Carry on, carry on. Brother Brown, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Green Dragon Live. Thank you.
Yes, sir, we are, no doubt. Tuesday night, the show.
I can tell you when we were talking about this earlier today, we had a range from 20,000 people by the end of the year all the way up to
500,000.
4 million. Yeah, 4.7 million. So there is a very wide spread there on what we think is, going to happen. And none of it looks good. I mean, none of the numbers, whether it's 20,000 or 4.7 million, none of those numbers look good to me.
Yeah, I hear you, Jay Watt. I'll get on that. He doesn't like that word Ebola.
I don't either.
Yeah.
He doesn't think it's around, so I'll definitely get him in.
That would be great.
Let me get a couple of links out here. And if anybody is listening, they want a link, just send us a message in the external, and we'll get you one out. You know how we do. Let's see. No, like I said, I don't understand. We were talking, I think like a month ago, my last few chats, we were talking about this, and how I was telling everyone, what are we doing to get these people tested before they come? We have all those college exchange students. What was it, like 20,000 of them?
Yeah, I think so.
Something crazy like that. It's like, what are we doing to protect our families and our country as a whole from this disease? Do you guys think that we took enough precaution? Do you guys think we, letting these outsiders come in our home, and only God knows what these people have, call it profiling, call it whatever, but these diseases, so if you know that you got Ebola and yada yada and the swine flu and all this other extra bullshit that they got, what are we doing to keep the germs out, so to say?
Well,
No problem,
in
Jay.
my, as I say, in my opinion, have we done anything to keep them out? I mean, wouldn't something have been better than nothing?
That's what I've been saying.
Well, you know that the CDC is going to have some type of look into it, as well as the World Health Organization to some degree, but I mean, even their hands are tied in certain international matters.
That's right.
I mean, all the money we're paying to TSA, all the money that goes here, all the money goes there, what the fuck? I mean, what can we do to tighten up? I mean, I think Brother Brown and I were talking about this, some TSA shit we were talking, what was it, a few weeks ago.
Yep.
About the only thing you really can do is go to ground, right? Make sure you keep your kids home from school if you have to. You stay in the house. You go out as minimal contact. If you do, you're wearing the proper equipment, and that's about the only thing you can do. And I mean, that's to the extreme where it's really starting to spread, and you're starting to see it spread. You're going to have to go to those measures.
I think Kelly was telling us. Kelly, weren't you telling us, like either today or a few days ago, about like the chances on getting it and yada yada? What?
Yeah, actually, I had dinner with somebody from the CDC in Atlanta, I believe it was last week, and it's somebody I trust. Now, we all know how the government is compartmentalized, and not everybody knows, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing and everything all the time. But in his sight, he really did not believe that it was going to come to the U.S.
Wow.
So the fact that it is here, I am sure if I spoke to him today, he would be like shocked, because, he said, really, he said, here in the U.S., we really have to worry more about the flu than we do about Ebola. I don't see Ebola coming to the U.S. However, the flu each year kills 30 to 36,000 people a year. So, that was somebody from the CDC, and he didn't see it coming here.
Right.
And now it's here, and I think it's a matter of right hand not talking to left hand, and,
There's also the fact that propaganda is passed down from the top down.
Yeah.
Whether it's private or whether it's government, you always have what's called, you've got to keep the company spirit, I guess you'd call it. So they're gonna pass down that propaganda to you in order to keep them up.
Exactly.
And that's a good point too. That the fact that someone in the CDC, at least from his perspective, he was not thinking that it would arrive here. The chances of that were low in his opinion, and yet all of a sudden the media is telling us the opposite.
Yeah. And I know that if I were to talk to him today or tomorrow, if that were an occasion that I had, that he would be like, I don't even know what to say. I mean, because I know he would be just as floored about it being on our shores as we are.
So I wonder what that does to the likelihood that this is just a media story. I mean, because until I see some evidence of it, I guess personally, or know someone who sees it personally, I'm just leery of it, because if it's just being told us on the media and we can't find any evidence of it anywhere else, then we might be under an illusion.
Yeah.
Whereas, we had an incident up here in Canada where there was a scientist who passed a memorandum to the Prime Minister about an ecological situation, and it was bypassed, looked over, and the situation happened, and he's like, I warned you, and the memo doesn't get to whoever, or it's quashed by whatever part of the chain of command, and, they're being ignored, these scientists who are trying to throw up the warning flag,
Yeah. It's hard to know anything anymore.
Now, I have a question, because I know that some of you guys are much more informed about this than I am. What does this do, and if Ebola actually is on our shores, what does this do to that presidential act about in the time of great distress, what is it, the NDDA or whatever act? I'm getting that mixed up. I know I am, but where he can continue being president even.
Sure. Oh yeah, this is a state of a national emergency.
Yep, executives.
And there's more, not just NDAA, there's a lot of other bills and things that can be called into place in a time of national emergency, whether that be real or fabricated. Life can change real quick.
Sure can. I mean, you look at World War II, and I know that they did it here up here as well as down there, where Japanese and even German citizens here were put into internment camps.
Oh, sure.
Even though they had been here for generations.
I mean, maybe it's just me thinking this, and hopefully it is just me thinking this, but what better way to be able to point your finger at this one and wag your finger at that one? You're contaminated, you're not, you're infected, you're not, duck, duck, goose, and you could just, what better way to pick and choose who goes where?
There you go.
And even better, you just tell them which line to get in, because they're cows and they will get in line and follow the ass of the one in front of them.
I have a number for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not for the United States, though. Just for the United States, I would say about, I would agree with the 7 million, but anyway, worldwide, 650 million a year for 10 years, because they have to have a plan and a schedule, and it's usually ridiculous numbers like that, 10 years, and that would bring it all the way down to their 80% of the population wiped out in 10 years.
That's right, JD. That's what. Has anybody seen this past 4 days on the executive broadcast where the president spoke about the loss of life, the count? He was speaking, when he addressed the UN Assembly, he was speaking in tens of thousands of people.
I haven't seen it, though.
Yeah. The last time he spoke at the UN, he was talking tens of thousands.
And that's just here, right?
But I think he was broadcasting. The theme was probably overseas, JD.
Because if they went any more than 6.5 million a year worldwide, you'd be falling over dead bodies. It would everybody be overwhelmed. Wouldn't be enough people to bury them.
And that's the way it's going to end up being, really, because as a virus goes, it gets exponential and exponentially worse. So I mean,
Exactly. So those numbers, they'll probably end up wiping out everybody except who's hiding in the caves.
And doesn't that make perfect use then of those black so-called casket carriers that we've seen that we know that will fit more than one body in them?
Yeah, containment devices.
The containment devices.
Yep. Those are for mass burials.
Should have pickle jars a containment device.
Oh.
I don't know where they get their names at. Yeah, look at Warfield is theater. Who comes up with this shit?
Well, if it's theater,
stage.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's theater, they left out the comedy part and just left in the tragedy part.
No, they're laughing all the way to the bank.
They're laughing all the way to the bank, and there's the drama afterwards.
Save the drama for you. Special shout outs to the Wisconsin militia, Brother Truth. It's already done, brother. Just did it. Brother Cowboy, Brother Mutt. Shout outs to you. I hope all is well. Shout outs to Brother Dooley, Brother Hick, Brother Mario, Brother Burlance, and Rebel Girl. I hope all is well. Alright, what else do we got on the table, Brother Chad?
Yeah. I've intentionally stayed away from the news specifically for this reason, so I am, at the moment, not the person to ask because I don't know what's worth even looking at.
Kelly, what do we got? Stan, you guys want to go over anything other?
I do want to cover.
Brother Brown. Hold on, Brother Brown was saying something, Kel, before you.
Sorry, I didn't hear him.
It's okay.
Kel, good to see everybody tonight. I got one locally for you guys. The federally backed school lunch program.
Okay.
Down here, of course, it's always a parent's choice to send a child to school packing or not packing a lunch, I would think. Now, I don't have one in now. I haven't sent one out with a lunch in many years. But locally, now, they're underfunded for one thing. The kids locally are throwing what is supplied to them federally away. So the parents send their lunch, and now the administration is throwing the brown bag that was sent from home away.
Wow.
So the kid shows up with a packed lunch because the federal fund isn't sufficient to feed the kid, but yet the guidelines doesn't support what's in the kid's brown bag.
Yeah.
Some people have an account, like we have an account for little man. We have the 6-year-old. We have an account with the school. We give them, I don't know what she does. She gives them like, I don't know, $120 or something like that. I don't know how, but we just give him money. He's got his own account. So whenever he gets whatever he wants, they just, pull up his number. They see how much he has in his account, yada yada.
But if you sit, example, for banter here, back and forth.
Right.
What I read into it is, again, not the free, but what they're supplying for the paid at school. The kids, because they're so underfunded, the kids actually can't eat it because it's not right. So for banter, Big G, what I'm going to say here is as an example. You send little man to school with your own pact because you realize he wasn't eating. But
Right.
now the administration is saying that what he had in the brown bag isn't right for code. You're throwing it away.
Hmm.
Now what is supposed to be
Well, I say
code? I know everyone's
I say
different.
code because they didn't explain it well enough in my press down here. I
Right,
say
right,
code like say like a school uniform. If it was out
right.
of code.
Yeah. And down
Okay.
up here, they had a case where, and I think it was a preschool, but they sent the parents home a fine because the kid object in his lunch that because they had to have one thing from each food group, right? Well, he was missing a piece of cheese, and they had to supply him with the cheese, so therefore they sent the parent a fine.
A fine? I would take that fine and bring it to the school and shove it up their candy fucking ass. Is what I would do.
You know
You're
what?
not,
Get the fuck out of here! A fucking
you're not
fine
meeting the
over a
standards
fucking
of
school
the
lunch.
you know.
The fuck out of here!
And
Are you fucking serious?
there you go. That's right. That's right. And if
Yeah,
you don't
well,
pay it, then they lean you. Right? Big G for guys that have kids above ground, and we all do. Hey, for one thing, they're underfunded. It's not the dietitian's fault at the cafeteria. She knows it, and what they're trying to do, they're trying to regroup their food groups, like the boss said. Like
that shit's getting out of hand.
what
That
they're
shit's
having to do, they're having to tweak their menu to the food group because they can't afford what's being supplied to, they're under a budget. They can't afford it. But if I was to send my kid to school with a bag lunch because it wasn't sufficient what you guys were supplying after I paid, and you throw
right.
the bag out, I'm with you on that. Don't be throwing my kid's bag out now.
Do you know what they're really saying?
Go ahead, Chad.
You're not a good enough parent.
Basically, what they're saying is we own your children and we will decide what they eat and what they don't. You are not in a position to decide what your children will eat because these children are ours. They belong to the state.
That's right.
And that's the cult mentality. You can thank the Sandy Hookers for that too. But it's the state's children now. You just get to raise them.
They're all numbered. They all got fucking numbers.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We're numbers.
Yeah, we're just fodder.
That's what we are. Until our time.
If a brown bag could have a buffet, that's what I'm sending kids to.
That's fucking ludicrous, dude. If I ever get a letter from my boy's school about some dumb shit like that, shit.
It's time to start homeschooling.
Well, shit. I only live fucking not even a 2-mile drive from the school, so believe me, I will be down there in a second.
I'll go pick them up every day and take them out to lunch. Or bring them home.
Yeah, I was talking about homeschooling, Stan. Sorry, Dozer. Yeah, we were talking homeschooling, I think, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Definitely interested in that, but like I said, it's hard, man. Once you do it, you got to do it, and it's no turning back once you make that move,
Yeah.
So,
you be dedicated.
yeah, we definitely got to make sure our ducks in a row before we pull them.
Can I say? Oh, go ahead.
Nope. You're next. You got the floor.
Oh, I just wanted to say something really quick to a shout out out in the outer chat on YouTube. Mindy Patriot Angel brought up the CDC issues Ebola guidelines for U.S. funeral homes. So I really suggest that people go ahead and take a look at that too, because that is tying it in and finishing it off, the Ebola subject. But it's very, very important that we know everything that they are so-called planning for us, or planning in the event that it does get out of control.
No, they're counting on it.
What's going on, Stu? Thanks for the links, brother. Appreciate it. We got 43 viewers right now. Like I said, thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with us. What's going on, Brother Mutt? JQHB's out there. Brother Stan's here. Caregiver 7751. What's going on? Brother Truth is out there. What's going on? Representing the Wisconsin militia right now. And we're going to have a chat up in a couple of weeks about our militias. I think that's something we need to go over.
And gee, I'd be interested to know what the audience thinks. I see value in consensus among independent sources, and I'm just curious, with what you're seeing in the news and with what you're being told, how do you feel, and are you concerned? Is this something that you're, is it concerning
Absolutely. You? Good question, Chad. Yeah, and like I said, we got Kelly the sniper. She's on that external, so she's Kelly. Thank you very much for helping us out tonight, and you've been a big help and a big support here at the Green Dragon, and we want to thank you again, and thank you for everything that you do.
Oh, well, I think
we just want to tell you that you're appreciated here, and we love having you in our chats.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough. I have a blast every time I'm in one. So,
Brother Mutt, hold on, let me just finish the shout-outs, please, if you don't mind. Brother Mutt, what's going on? JQHB's out there. Kevin Stahl, what's up, brother? Southern Styles out here. I just want to see if anyone new came in here. JJ, what's up, brother? We'll send you a link. Can someone send JJ a link, if you don't mind, Kel?
Sure.
Let's see. I think that's about it. Everyone else has been called out.
I'm sorry I'm not able to do so.
Actually, I can. What's up, Kevin?
Because you got a Mac.
We got a live chat. Absolutely, brother. I'll send you the link right now, Kevin.
If anybody...
I just sent you the link, Kev.
Okay. If anybody wants to weigh in on yes or no, they're concerned about the Ebola thing, just go ahead and put like a Y or an N or a yes or a no in the line, and I'll just kind of take a little tally to see what we've got going on.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That would be interesting. Kevin, I just sent you a link, brother. Yes, we are on live, brother. Live on the Dragon. That's where you've been commenting. Come on in when you're ready. Link has been sent. Seeing we got a good crowd out there, minus a couple knuckleheads. That's why I love the Dragon. We don't get trolled with too much.
What's up, Kevin?
10-rounder. Thank you for listening, buddy. I hope you had a good day, brother. Miss you, buddy. We got brother Kevin Stahl. Good morning, Kevin, my brother. Did you just wake up, or is it fucking Kevin's? Are we on? Yeah, brother, we're on. Live, baby, live.
Slept most of the day.
Oh, damn, that must be nice. See, y'all, it's nice to be retired, I'll tell you. I can't wait.
It's a nice cool day over here.
Everybody, welcome Kevin Stahl to the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys.
Hey, Kevin.
Hi, Cal.
Kelly, if you want to go over some stuff with Kevin, some of the stuff that he missed.
Oh, I've been listening.
Been listening? Okay, brother.
I'm up on everything.
What are you thinking, Kev?
I'm trying not.
No hold barred here, brother. You can let it all go. Let loose, as you know.
We all knew that eventually it would come here. We all knew that because they brought it in because the CDC and everybody owns the patents and the vaccines and all that crap. We all know that, and we all know this was coming. It's just part of the plan. Now, how we all react to their plan is the key. I am concerned about Africa. I'm also concerned about the rest of the world and what they're going to deal with and how they're going to deal with it. When I was a kid, when something like this happened, the flu or something was really bad, we were taught in schools. There were special things after the evening news on what to do or prepare for. They don't do that anymore. They don't want us to know what to do.
That's the truth. Amen.
And that's the part that's probably the biggest part I have a problem with is the lack of knowledge and telling people what they can and can't do.
Exactly.
Change in a couple days, I don't know. I'm not going to hold my breath. But it's just another spoke in the wheel that we're all having to deal with. And I'm not trying to be a downer, but it's just that's the way I look at it, guys. We got to take it
We
as
agree. We agree, Kevin. That's what we were talking about earlier. We were just saying that same thing. I believe Stan and I early in the private chat. We were talking about the very same thing. You remember, Stan?
Look back to the 50s and that when you got the cold or you got the flu, you went home and you dealt with it, you got over it, and then you come back to work. None of this mindset of I'm a good man, I'm going to work through it, and I'm going to cough and hack and touch everything at work, and I'm going to get everybody else sick. That's the mentality you have to get away from.
Yeah. When I had co-ops that would come in or temps that would work with me in my lab and stuff like that, and they came in with the sniffles or a cough or whatever, I'd send them home. I did, because I said, one, I didn't want to catch it, and two, it wasn't fair to the rest of us that you came and got us sick. So go home.
Exactly.
It was that simple.
We learned that when we started to learn hygiene. So why aren't we sticking to that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's just because they keep pushing us harder, paying us less, we have to work harder in order to make more money, right?
Got it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's about the extent of it.
Well, I know that when my daughter was a senior in high school, she was getting flu, everything else, and it was so ludicrous. Every time she got sick, I made sure I took her to the doctor to get a note because, it's her senior year and they don't want them to miss too much school because, well, that could show that there's a problem or something. And the school actually sent home a letter one day that said that they were concerned about her health because she had missed so many days. So from there on, that she needed to bring in a doctor's note every time she'd been sick. And I thought, what about all those doctor's notes she's been bringing to you up until this point? So it was just.
I look at technology as possibly a way to solve a little bit of this problem, as well as the problem of a little bit of CO2 emissions. Every day we bus our kids to and from school. Why can't we stay at home and have technology like this where one teacher sits and dictates through Hangouts to 10 children at the bottom?
There are some homeschool societies or associations that do exactly that. And, it's all how much do you want to be involved in your child's education, or how much can you be involved? Not everybody can do it. A lot of people have both parents that have to work.
That's where we fail as a society because we're losing our children that way.
But I was going to say, people need to remember that school does not have to happen between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. It could happen between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. just as well.
Yeah. Learning can happen any time of the day. It should be one of those things where you see a teaching moment or a learning moment and you're there, you're learning it or teaching it.
Absolutely. I fully agree with you on that, Stan.
Especially when all of us can probably agree that what is being taught in schools isn't working. What's coming out the other end, if schools were a factory, products going in and products coming out, the product of what we're creating in our society isn't worth having. 50% of these people can't even read above an 8th grade level when they graduate our public schools. So clearly what we're doing is not working, but since all schools are funded by the same government, it's clearly what they want.
Yeah, because they just want to pump them out and get them into the workforce.
As quick as they can.
They want them just smart enough to press the buttons.
Yeah.
Right. Or sweep the floors. Or...
Right, but not much smarter than that. They just trainable. You know, that's what college makes an employee, is highly trainable.
You know, and God forbid we teach them how to learn.
Yep, exactly. That was my point, is that if we were sincerely interested in our children learning, we would be doing exactly what everyone here just said, and we'd have been doing that a long time ago as soon as it was available to us. And we would increase the capacity for, you know, all human knowledge, because we don't know where the next Einstein or Tesla is going to come from.
Exactly.
We just got to get that person, that kid, that individual the right amount of information, and they'll do something amazing with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think one of the parts is that society looks at children as dependents, you know, where we should look at them as the future and stop robbing them of theirs, where we're making them pay for all of our debt and all of, you know, like our grandparents did to us and their grandparents did to them, and as long as the system's been running. And we need to change that system where they come into society where they're already have to pay back a debt, you know, and it's not just a monetary debt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, our kids are straddled with so much debt. I don't see how they're even going to begin to get out of it.
You know, that's another question for everyone, including the audience. If right now on TV, the little emergency broadcast system came up and said, alert, you know, this horrible thing's happening in your city, Ebola, or, you know, outbreak or massive attack or whatever the thing is, they tell you this real bad thing just happened. Everyone report to your post office, which is the protocol for martial law.
Right.
And when you go to your, you know, the question is, what would you do if you saw this on TV right now? What would you do?
I don't know if I want to answer that in a live chat. Okay.
That's okay. I understand that, but at least everyone out there think about it to themselves. You don't. I mean, I don't need to know the answer either. It's just that you need to think about it for yourself and be ready and willing and able to answer it at any moment.
Oh yeah, I already have an answer for you, but as I said, I don't know whether I want to release that on a live chat.
I'm thinking I need to buy some nice heavy-duty plastic sheeting and tape is what I'm thinking that I need to do.
Roll of good thick poly.
Yeah.
I've always figured by the time I hear it, then it's already shot.
Because no matter the scenario, that will be the protocol as far as martial law is concerned. It doesn't matter if it's a attack or it's a biological or whatever, or just a fabricated scenario. They could put on CNN, and I guarantee 60-70% of everyone watching would get on the bus. No questions asked. No thought needed. They just get on the bus.
Yeah. And you know afterwards there's going to be the teams rolling through door to door.
Sure. So all the people that'll be fighting each other to get a front row seat on the bus so they can take a selfie, you know, that'll be them. And then, like you said, the holdouts, yeah, that's what the MRAPs are for.
Yeah.
I personally can't imagine just following a blind order like that. You know, I admit I don't know a lot, and that's one of the things that I love about having these panels is that I get to learn so much. So one thing that I've learned is that don't just follow blind orders, you know.
So many citizens throughout history have done it, and look where it's led them to. They're the ones who end up in the mass genocide and stuff. And it's like you've got to be that resistance, you know. You've got to be that just that one step ahead in order to survive. You've got to think logically.
Well, that's where it comes down to. We all know in our heads what we would do, but in reality, we won't really know what we're going to do until it actually happens to us individually.
Yeah, unless you practice.
Unless you practice.
This is a really weird kind of off the wall thing. And I don't know if it's because I'm a woman. It probably is. But I just want you to remember that if you still have kids at home and the situation becomes where the kids cannot go out and you are at home with them, make sure you have things to entertain them and not electronic things, because chances are we're not going to have the electronic things. You know, books to read, good books to read, games that you can play with them, because part of it is they're going to go stir crazy and drive you insane.
Yeah, you've got a very good point there.
You know, so make sure you're prepared for that part of it also. Because kids, you know, they want to learn, so have some good books that you can teach them from, you know, be it anything from your Bible to the latest magazine you bought, you know, and have some games ready, because if you don't have electricity, you know, you just got to keep them busy so that you're not going insane with their I'm bored. You know, I mean,
Well, there'll be plenty to do.
as a parent, we can only hear I'm bored so many times before we start to go, oh.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. At the first little onset, there's going to be lots to do, right?
Yes, exactly. Don't forget to get them involved in it.
Yep. Because it's their future, right?
It is, exactly.
Giggles going on.
Well, I was going to say, is Joe still in here with us? Joe, you had something really interesting that you brought up just before we were starting.
I'm talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay. I was just saying, I'm second guessing the numbers that we're thinking how many people are going to perish every year, or by within 1 year, because I'm not really sure when this Ebola thing started in Africa, other than I know it was this year. Does anybody have a month pinned down?
Not a month. I've been following it for more than a year.
Everyone else has been calling out.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to do so.
What's up, Kevin?
Yeah.
We got a live chat.
So anyway, what just occurred to me while I was in the other room is that only just now, in Africa, even with the families squirreling the dead bodies away and hiding them, and doing their ritual things on them, and making extra people come in contact with these bodies. Even with that, of course, there's not that many people as there are as there are here in the United States, but there's only now 6,800 people dead from Ebola over there. So that's a hell of a lot smaller number than we're given.
Hey, JD, when I started following it over a year ago, and it wasn't called Ebola then, even though I was aware of it, there was another thing called the ultimate. It was a super bacteria. Before the Ebola thing, it was called super bacteria. But if it's 6,800, it was probably 480, maybe 500 persons just over a year ago.
It was probably what?
It was just around 500 over a year ago. Just outside of a year ago, it was about 500.
Okay, so then you add on another 9 months.
It's that many.
And it's this many, yeah.
And that's back when I started seeing it show up, and I started watching stuff about it. That's when Doctors Without Borders and the Frenchie type thing. It's another name on the Frenchie type deal. When they had it basically under control.
See, the thing is over there with the people acting the way they are, they're almost begging to spread it. They're trying to. They're not. I know they're not purposely trying to because they don't understand this stuff because they think we brought it there anyway. But even with everything that's going wrong for them over there, it's only gotten this bad.
Well, let me ask that. I mean, that's a valid question that needs to be asked. Did we bring it there? I mean, here we've got the patent on this thing.
Whoa. You have the patent? I don't have the patent. We is a powerful word, Chad.
I don't know if anybody mentioned about the fact that it appeared in 3 cities at one time, which is very uncommon. I mean, it just showed up in 3 separate cities at one time. That almost sounds planted.
Sierra Leone and the other one.
But here's the thing, 2 agendas. I mean, first of all, depopulation of Africa, which is clearly on the agenda, that's openly spoken about by these people. That right here, the link I'm posting for you in the sidebar, that is the patent on Ebola. And if you want to be specific, it's Jonathan S. Towner and Stuart T. Nickel and James A. Comer and Thomas G. Kazeski, Pierre E. Rollin, and these are the people that have the patent on it. So, and that was back in 2010. So, did we bring it to Africa to depopulate their continent?
Is that a
it's on Google Patents.
Ebola or the vaccine?
This is human Ebola virus species and compositions.
Of the virus. Okay, well.
Yeah, of the strain, isolated H. Ebola virus, comprising. Yeah. So again, did we bring it since we did create it, and it just magically sprung up in Africa and did this much devastation? It seemed to work so well there. Did they decide to bring it here?
No, what's crazy about it is we've all heard, I'm sure, about Ebola before this happened, and it being in Africa.
Right.
How can you patent something that already exists like that?
See, that's a valid question.
Strain of it. I don't think it's the same strain that was talked about even way back in the 50s, wasn't it? When they had all those monkeys together and they got the virus from each other, but they were in separate cages, so they knew it was airborne at that time.
Well,
the ventilation system.
The thing is on the patent, if it's 70% of the original, they own it.
And then there are hundreds of strains. I mean, there's just always mutations. Everything changes. So whatever, any type of strain of the common cold virus is constantly changing. There's always new strains of it. So it's kind of difficult to say, is it the same strain or not?
I don't know with that patent that you showed. I'm not looking at it right now, but if potentially the government was just using that strain to test it for a weaponized purpose, and that's why they would own the patent on it, because they were trying to create a weaponized bioweapon, whatever.
The Soviet Union already created weaponized Ebola before it collapsed.
I'm sure there's many countries that have created similar things or worse, but for the same end. I don't know why they patented it. I mean, let's see, there's enough nasty shit in this world as it is. Let's sit around and, genetically concoct more of it. Whoa, that's not a good idea. I don't know who's making these decisions, but they never asked me.
Or did they patent it so that other countries could not make the strains of it and use it as weaponized?
Well, Kelly, what terrorist is going to follow patent law?
Well, yeah, I know they're not.
I think the reason why...
that got back to that question of, did they patent it before they fully had a full understanding of it? Did they pull...
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is that it is patented, and if this was something else, if this was, I don't know, just something else that was natural out there, that suddenly there was some epidemic, well, that could be very natural, but here's something that we own and we created, and all of a sudden now we're having an epidemic of it from the same people who stand up with a straight face and say they want to depopulate the planet of Earth. I mean, how many pieces does it take before we get
Yeah.
a picture of the puzzle here?
Well, I was just trying to play devil's advocate there.
I think they
so-
patent it. I think they patent it so they can do the research on it themselves, so that another research company can't research it.
Exactly.
Either way, whatever that's probably that sounds reasonable to me. But either way, all it shows us for sure is that they can create it. They own it.
Well, they found it first, and then they mutated it, so it wasn't created by them.
I don't know. All I know is that they have a patent on it, and now here it is.
I come in to tell you I'm not that worried about it.
All right.
The
I'm
guy,
not worried about it.
the guy that is sick was in Africa and came back here, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, he lives in Africa. He came here to visit relatives. That's according to CNN today.
Okay. There's one thing. Texas prisons are hiring Africans to be jail guards.
By the way, you
They
just
go
said you're
back
not
and
afraid-
visit all the time.
You just said you're not worried about it, right?
I'm not worried yet. When it
Okay.
spreads to like
When-
10 people, then it's time to fear.
I was about to ask you when you're moving to Texas.
Huh? I'll go down to Dallas tomorrow.
Well, Adam versus the man, I think, is the guy that brought up the fact that 600,000 people die from diarrhea every year.
Yeah.
How many have died from Ebola? So, yeah, I understand
Yeah,
it's not something to fear right now, but it's definitely something to pay attention to.
You have
Yeah.
a better chance of dying tomorrow on your way to work.
Influenza kills thousands in high numbers.
Yeah.
I'm completely aware of this, but again, I'm just saying, is it more likely that this is being used as a scare tactic? Because we're just seeing this in the
Definitely.
media at this point.
Totally.
No. The media is trying to get your attention so they can sell commercials.
Or vaccines that Bill Gates pays for or is invested in.
Well, it's just one more way of them saying we all have to have a vaccine, and if you
Yeah,
don't,
the flu season's coming up, and that's what they push at this time of year all the time, is go get your vaccine for the flu. Well, now they're going to push go get it with this new updated Ebola vaccine.
But it's not required for everyone.
Yet,
Only if you're a nurse, they force you. Some jobs force you to get it, but not. I wonder if they require the nursing, like if you're in a nursing home, if you're required to receive a vaccine or a flu shot.
nurses in hospitals were last year that I heard.
Yeah, I know nurses are, but I wonder if like you're a resident of a nursing home and you refuse. Can you refuse it?
no.
Well, I can ask Brandy. That's a friend of mine. She worked in a nursing home, so she's
That's an
not-
interesting question because sometimes you're put in a nursing home and your rights are taken away, and then they can just do whatever they want to you.
Well, if you're under the care of a physician and you don't follow the doctor's orders, I mean, whatever they tell you to do, then your health care is not going to cover it.
Yep, that's the way it is up here with our national health care. You don't follow the doctor's letter to a T, you're automatically cut off.
Mm.
Well, think about this, guys. Those of us that are disabled, if we want to get our checks, guess what?
Got to take the vaccine.
Damn right.
Well,
Did you guys hear about that guy that escaped a hospital there in Africa and was walking through the streets, and they sent a vehicle after him, and a whole bunch of guys got out, grabbed him, and threw him in the back of the vehicle to take him back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, that's what'll happen if they declare some type of emergency here, and I'm sure a lot of these football stadiums, kind of like we saw those kids in that shooting today, hustled off into a baseball field with a fence around it. They've got those places set up for that purpose, in my opinion.
Well, they go. The CDC and the government has agreements with all the NFL teams to use the stadiums for just that reason.
Yeah, we saw how well that worked at Katrina.
Katrina,
It didn't work well. They don't expect it to work well, but it did hold people in. It kept them from getting out. That was the point.
They turned away buses full of water from Walmart because theirs were only 2 days away.
And I was telling my wife last night, I'm looking at a lot of these towns and cities that are broke, but they're building these brand new stadiums. What the fuck?
Corporate money, and then they're stupid. They think that it's just because they built a stadium, it's going to bring tourism and whatever dollars. But
well, you got to wonder what kind of government subsidies they're getting to build those stadiums too for another purpose.
I was going to say a lot of them are considered tax-free because they're considered a charity.
Well,
Yeah,
you gotta,
I
you
just
gotta
heard that the other night.
just don't forget the community bonds too. I mean, when they sell bonds to investors, that's how they raise a lot of money. See, the owners don't want to pay for anything, but they will if they have to.
Yeah.
Yep, never invest your own money because you could lose it all.
Or you could gain nothing. You lose it all to inflation.
Cool.
If you don't invest, you could lose it all to inflation. But I don't have any money, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I think if you got money and you want to protect it, you just buy real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that you see the plantation come back.
Although my grandma's a real estate agent, I know a guy in Texas that's a real estate agent. They've gone through some really hard times. I mean, you got to be really secure in your investments, or you can lose it all really quick too.
Yeah, but land never goes down in value.
Land, I agree with that. House is a different story. Yeah.
No, I'm talking real estate.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you really look at it, how much of it is owned by corporate interest, right?
Not if you got the money, you're a corporation.
Or the government declares it a wildlife reserve and just takes it from you.
You want that.
They don't even have to do that, bro.
They don't take it from you. They send you a check.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Sometimes they send armed guards and just run you off your property.
No, I have a friend farmed for years, and now the farm is within the city of Omaha. And that family is very well off. And what they did is they just went out and bought another farm after they sold the farm where they built houses. So they're always going to be secure.
Where is that shooting today? If somebody's talking about.
There was 2 school shootings today. One, I think, was in Kentucky, and I'm not sure where the other one was.
Yeah, but the kind of thing is like that. They'll be secure.
Yeah, my news is not showing any of that.
Never turned it on Twitter either.
Anyway.
It was.
I saw on Google Plus this morning. I can go back and look again, but
I don't think anyone died. That's why it's not news.
yeah, no one died. That's what I heard too. One was over a fight that 2 kids that broke out, and one shot the other kid, and he's supposed to be okay. The other one I never heard all the details on, but yeah, you're right. Nobody died, so it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, and that was at Fern Creek in Jeffersonville or Jefferson County, Kentucky, but it's basically Louisville, which is that's really nothing that's out of the ordinary. That's
right.
Just how things are there, and so it was just a fight. But yeah, I heard the other one as well on the East Coast.
Just happened by a school, so now it's a school shooting.
Well, and I was going to say, and how are they going to spin it so that they can, try to tighten up our gun laws a little bit more?
They won't, because they're too focused on Ebola right now, so they won't change the news from that.
Okay,
and,
that's good to know.
We're getting 2 sides of the story as usual. On one side, we're told to be afraid of ISIS because they're going to come and cut your head off, but then on the other side, why do you need a gun? You don't need a gun to protect yourself or your family. I mean, there's only this supposed enemy you're supposed to be scared of that's supposedly already here. See, I mean, they need to pick a story and stick to it.
Did you think about this, Chad? Recently they were talking about ISIS claiming they were going to hang their flag at the White House, right?
Sure.
And then not a month later, we have 2 people jumping the fence of the White House. That felt like such a script. It felt so set up. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but maybe mind control was involved or something to get those people to rush the White House like that to show how insecure it was. And now ISIS really could hang a flag there.
Then you got these supposed beheadings and a threat of beheading.
You know why it wasn't mind control? Because you don't hear anything about the victim.
Yeah.
Whatever he jumped that fence for, they don't want him to get. They don't want his story to get out.
Oh
He was
boy,
a
he wasn't he wasn't
$100,000
no
in it.
average Joe Schmo. Welcome, bro, Lance. Good to see you, brother.
He was a veteran.
He was here as a military.
So he might have been pissed off about the VA or something, and that's why you're not hearing anything from him. Like,
Mhm.
what's his side of the story?
Well, and if it was an operation, then you won't hear any side of the story anyway, because he's a ghost in the story that is just playing a part. And
I actually think the most likely story is it's training, and then they're using it for the media.
Well,
Like-
yeah, like Chad said earlier, like that chick who ran the White House with the car or whatever, she got shot to crap, didn't she?
That's probably why they didn't shoot this guy. Could be.
Yeah.
They got
No.
told, "Hey, quit killing people. We're getting the blame."
Yeah, but still, it's the president's house, right?
Oh, that if that could have been an ISIS guy with the suicide vest, it would have been bad news, even if the president wasn't there. The fact that someone could get in there and blow
It's
themselves up.
It's our house. He just happens to live
And
there.
then have Obama come out the next day and say he's worried about that. Damn straight, he's gonna be worried about that.
That's right, Kevin. It is our house. He just happened to be renting it out.
And this is just a spitball out there, but what if it was a ploy from some form or leg of the government or whatever that to try to get the guy who was at the head of the Secret Service out of the way? To get someone that plays ball.
And gee, if it is
I
really
think it was a disgruntled veteran.
What'd you say, Chad?
if it really is our house, then why can't we know all the rooms in it? Why can't we walk in? Why can't we see what's underneath of it? Why can't we know those things if it's really our house?
Because the president needs to be protected no matter who's president, or it hurts the country.
National security.
Just imagine the chaos if someone kills Obama. The chaos. Look at Ferguson. It'd be crazy.
It would be worse than Ferguson. Worse. It would be fucking L.A. 1994, like fucking Rodney King.
Does any of us really know if he lives there? I mean,
he lives there.
With the underground bunkers, with all the other places that he could be, with the places he's out of town all the time. I mean, does he really live there? Because we don't get to see him sleeping in his bed. Not that I'd want to.
If you look at who he is as a person, I guarantee he lives there.
But it'd be dumb in a way, because these other countries have their missiles sighted right on the White House. I mean, they know the time of day he's sleeping, right?
Missiles. Look at the stuff Israel has, and just imagine what we have to shoot missiles out of the sky.
Nah, I don't know about that.
I'll report about the missile silos a month or so ago, and it was pretty sad. You know, they still use those 5.5, or not even bigger, those 10-inch diskettes that we used to use in computers instead.
I saw that.
But do you know why? You're not going to hack that.
Yeah,
It's not networked.
Yeah,
our missile silos are irrelevant. Every real missile we have is in a sub.
Yep.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't like to hear that irrelevant part, because I know you guys have a few of those bases here in Canada that that are targeted.
I don't even think there's that many missiles on the land. They might just be old missile silos that they decommissioned and never told anyone. I really think they're all on subs.
I know that a lot of the land ones were decommissioned, or at least that was the story. I didn't go check them out personally.
Why not?
Because they're sitting targets. When you're in a sub, they don't know where they're at.
Well, they probably got them hit so well here in the States that we don't know where they're at.
Yeah.
I need a history buff. Who's good? Trail of Tears. That was the
Native Americans.
The smallpox virus in it.
Mm.
Okay, that was about 1830.
Yeah.
History repeats itself 100 years later with the next thing they did to the American people with the Great Depression, right?
Yeah.
Come another 100 years, here we are, almost. By the time they get done with this depopulation thing, should be about 2030, right?
The thing is, I'm not worried about that because if they were going to do depopulation, they wouldn't tell us. It would just happen all over the cities.
That's the thing.
But it is happening.
No, it's
Slow kill.
happening. It's happening in Africa, and someone came from Africa to the United States.
No. I mean what's called slow kill. All nutrition has been pulled out of food. We are essentially dying from the inside out. We're starving, even though we're shoving grease and other carcinogenic chemicals into our face constantly. This is how you slow kill a population so that the next generation doesn't even, well, first of all, creates infertility. That's why more and more people are sterile or infertile now. So that kills the next generation. See, that's how they're slow killing the entire population, so that you won't even know that it's happening. But within one generation, they will have effectively wiped out the next generation of people just by sterilizing the people with the food they eat.
Yep.
I don't believe that. I think that there's so many people that they're putting all this crap in the food because we won't have enough food if we didn't put it in there.
So how did
GMOs aren't needed in order to make sure that the population is sustained.
If they wanted to kill us all, they could. It would start tomorrow. There's no reason, and then they could blame it on someone else. They wouldn't need to do it slow.
Without a change in the monetary system, if you collapse all society, if you do that type of depopulation, what does money mean to a trillionaire?
Right.
I mean, if that's all that's here, what are they trading with when we're all gone? Because I think they depend on us to prop up that monetary system. So I believe there's going to be a monetary collapse, and maybe that's manufactured in some way, but I don't know how they can exist in the same system they have now without us.
They'll have their own.
Do you think they're kidding on the Georgia Guidestones or any of the other places they say that they're going to kill 90% of the population?
Does the Georgia Guidestones directly say they're going to kill a population?
You've never read the Georgia Guidestones, have you?
It doesn't say that. It recommends it recommends to keep the population at a limit.
At a limit?
It doesn't say kill all the population down to...
Okay, let's do some math.
Population.
Let's do some math. That's right. There's 7 billion, almost 8 billion people on the planet now, and the Georgia Guidestones say they're going to maintain the population of Earth at 500 million. Let's see. Yeah, that's 90%'s got to go, huh?
Not going to happen.
So are they kidding when they put that in granite in 7 different languages? Is it just a joke?
I'd like to know who put it there to begin with.
That's the biggest question. It's not like the government built it and said this is what we're going to do.
No, it'd be private.
An anonymous donor named R.C. Christian is the one who paid for it, who paid for the stone.
But anybody knows who the
And
Christian.
we don't know who that is, so it's a useless synonym. It's just a name. An organization paid to have that put there. The same organization that puts forth all the propaganda about depopulation and how it's a good thing.
The Illuminati.
The Rosicrucians.
All of them.
And
Wasn't China supposed to run out of food like 20 years ago? Their population was going to become too much and they were going to be starving.
Yeah, we've been providing a lot of it for most of the decades. Where do you think our aid's going?
Humans find a way. I have faith. It's going to be all right. I'm not worried about mass extinction events that I have no control over.
Good, we'll eat you first.
This could be considered another one of the floods from biblical times, flood of a virus instead of water.
Pestilence, right?
Huh?
Well, with fracking going on a lot, especially along the fault lines, what's going to happen there?
Yeah.
And I know there's more and more earthquakes all the time, especially in frac zones.
Did you know anybody know?
Are there more earthquakes all the time?
Yes, there is. You can look at the geographical data.
Or is it because the sun is at a peak?
No.
Like-
Anytime you fracture bedrock, you fracture the foundation of what the upper crust is on. Fracturing the crust.
So we shouldn't frack.
No, we should not.
What are we gonna do for energy?
Well, we've had free energy for, I don't know, since Nikola Tesla gave us the paperwork for it.
Then go create it and become
Don't
rich.
have to create it. Westinghouse has the patent on it right now. GE is, you know.
Well, if you create it yourself, you could just start selling it.
I don't have the patent. I'm not Nikola Tesla. I'm just saying
You
it does
did,
exist. And that if we really wanted energy, if there was really a crisis, we already have the solution for it.
I'm sure
So-
there's a country you could go to where the patent wouldn't matter.
Dude,
It's the money that holds it down. You don't
Yeah.
think? Look at the electric car. The first electric car, GM bought them all back and quashed them all.
dude, you got to realize they're not going to let any of this shit happen unless they want it to.
But we also can't sit and pretend there's a problem that we need to react to when we've had the solution for 100 years. It's just not right.
But because it's not profitable.
As far as not being able to feed people, that's
optimistic.
inaccurate too. We can feed the entire world many times over, and just in the United States alone, we throw away enough food to feed the rest of the world. And just what we throw away because we're not smart enough to figure out how to distribute it properly. We can build stations in space, but we just can't figure out this whole sharing food thing. It's too difficult.
Look at the wasted carbon, like the fuel used just in order to process food.
Exactly.
I was going to say, when you were talking about the wasted food, my husband was doing some charity work a couple of years ago at a very large food bank, and they were doing backroom cleanup. And he said that they were just throwing away tons of food because the place hadn't even been rotating it out, and things were so damaged and so outdated because they hadn't been rotating it out that this food was just going to waste.
Sure.
He said it was just sickening, you know, that you could walk out the front door and you could see people that were hungry. Meanwhile, out the back door, they're throwing away bin after bin of food.
Every day.
Because
they're limited by law and only to give so much food out to a certain amount of people. If these people come in and get their quota, they're not allowed to come back in again for, say, a month. What can they do?
it's because of lawyers. They can't be
Liability and insurance, too.
They can't be liable for giving expired food out.
Yep. It's also insurance, too. They've got to carry insurance just like anybody else.
We're not overpopulated. We're not in a crisis that we can't handle. We don't. All the stuff that we're being told is just simply not true. If you've ever been across the United States from one coast to the next, you see the vast amounts of land that are not used.
Yep.
I mean, it's like 73% of all population lives on 3% of the land mass here.
It's 'cause there's no
We are
water.
not overpopulated, but like India is overpopulated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all of that land is not used either, but there's no water there.
But who are we to say that they're overpopulated? That's for them to decide.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
We should only be worrying about us, and that's where all of our own foreign policies, Canada and the U.S. included, should be brought more domestic. You know,
Even if you look at India as an example, and that's a great example, but even if you take India and you look at the amount of land that is available versus where all the people live, most of them are like rats that live on top of each other in major cities due to economics and a bunch of other nonsense that we go by that makes up our daily life and what we call real. But in reality, the amount of available, not only space, but resources available is right there. It's just unused in our current organization. The machine that we're in doesn't work that way.
What machine do you want to run us?
Okay, how about nature? That would be nature worked well before this machine came along. And I'll go with nature.
Natural law.
You want natural law?
Yes, I
So,
do.
are you willing to give up your computer, your car, your gun
Sure.
Sure.
Well,
to go back to being like a Native American?
Been
well,
there.
you're
Done it.
making leaps of assumptions that are, well, they're
Don't
ludicrous
have
actually, and they have
technology.
no bearing in reality. Why would I have to give up the technology? Why do we have to go back in order to live under natural law? We could have technology that is useful to everyone instead of controlling everyone. We don't have to go back. We can
But
go forward.
but
In fact, you can't go back. We already know too much.
so like you have to have some form of government in order to
Yeah.
keep technology.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. What government would you want?
What government runs nature? How does nature govern itself?
Well, natural law, I mean, I can go out and kill anyone I want. I can go out and take anything I want.
It's teeth and
No.
claws, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's anarchy, my friend. That's not natural.
Well, that's
Well, and that's
nature is
chaos.
anarchy. Nature
No.
is chaos.
No, it's not.
In a
Natural
jungle.
law.
In a
Natural.
jungle.
Hey,
By definition.
you go out and do that, you'll pay the price. It's that simple.
Eventually, exactly.
The
And that's the
natural law.
natural law. That's the natural order of things that we have disturbed with this petty little machine that we press the button and out comes the food.
I've yet to see.
Well, you were born into it. What else would you see?
Yeah.
Can I share experience with you, Chad?
Sure.
On hunger, man.
On what?
On hunger.
Sure.
I know we're live, so I'll set a precedent. Well, I don't know what that word means. I shouldn't say precedent. Chad, on hunger, I have recently seen people laugh at the thought of showing me food that they think that I'm starving, and they give me a little tidbit of what they're eating. This is a mental thought that they think that they're teasing me. Okay, they think they're teasing me because they think they know me. They think they know that I'm starving. Now I might very well be neither here nor there. I've seen people play games on a mind thought where they will show a person food that they think that didn't have food and laugh about it. Like in a corporate situation, they walk to a snack machine and they buy a combo, or what do they call them? The combos. Aren't they called combos? The cracker? Combos, right?
Yep.
They
think
buy
so.
Miss Kelly, they'll buy a Dorito out of a snack machine and they're getting less than, I don't know how many ounces it was, $1.25, and they pull it out of the snack machine and they show Ron Brown live chat external panel. I got friends here. They show a person that they think was starving and they snicker about it. Now that is not funny in the whole thought of itself, but the person that is showing an example of the snicker, that's the sickness in its own entity too, right?
Yeah, the same people that in public school would sit there and laugh at because I grew up half poor or poor.
And, you got a good point there, S. It is childish. You're right. It is very childish. You're right.
And it's mean.
Well, it's also make me want to step up and slap the fuck out your face too. That's from. I don't mean to say that like that on a HUCK type of note with Google. They don't know who they're messing with either, right, Miss Kel? You don't play with people that are hungry.
No.
You don't do that. And the childish thing went out the window because, like I said, Chad, we're talking corporate window here. And these cats, you're in a factory, and you know that they think they know that I'm hungry. I'm just setting an example. But it's happened to me recently. I've seen them laugh at somebody that's hungry. That is not funny at all. And if you're doing it to me, I can wear it. But if you're doing it to somebody else, you might get hit for it.
Yeah, and you know, to me, it reminds me of Little House on the Prairie, actually, kind of when you said that, because it reminded me of that. And I don't know if anybody watched it, but that the store owner's daughter there, the one with the long.
Nellie?
Oh, yeah. Automatically reminded me of her.
Well,
And you guys, hold on, I want to address something too that is kind of what we were just talking about, because you were saying about natural law. And under natural law, you're right, you could go out and do whatever you wanted to anyone you thought you could get away with doing it to. And if you think back, I don't know, a couple hundred years before there was, police and, the state and the government and the machine and all that, it was open territory. And you didn't do that to your neighbor because your neighbor's always got a brother, a cousin, an uncle, a mother, a son, someone with a gun, and probably 8 or 9 more of them that was kinfolk that was going to be coming for you next. And that's just the law of the jungle. That's just how things work in nature. And so therefore, you didn't do that because you knew better. And so therefore, it just didn't happen. Unless, of course, unless, of course, you were a sociopath by nature, which we still have those today, and we have psychopaths among us now who do those ruthless things anyway. But in the natural world, the psychopath gets eliminated quicker rather than later. They do less damage in the natural world than they do this artificial one.
So you still want like a constitutional government, though?
I can think for myself. I don't need a piece of paper or another man to write it down and dictate it. I mean, I just have this innate ability as a living organism to know what I should be doing and what I should be thinking.
Yeah.
So I do. It's weird.
And even though you may not be, quote, intelligent, you still have that deep feeling inside of you. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Certain freedoms.
Sure.
thank you for the reminder, Chad.
And by the way, most people do have that voice of conscience or inner dialogue, whatever you want to call it. Most people do have that, and I'm talking upwards of like 70–80%. Most people have that. There are still those among us who don't, and those are the real dangerous people.
Yeah.
Let's just make it easy on all of us and just abide the 10 Commandments and be done with it.
I was going to say that, just because that piece of paper is not there dictating our morality doesn't mean we're all of a sudden all going to turn immoral.
No, not at all.
I wouldn't go kill now, so why would I go kill if that paper wasn't there?
But there's whole groups of people that will go kill.
Oh, they do it now.
Yeah. This was the first country that, had a constitution. I think that's a good thing to live under. Look where we are.
Yeah, look where we are.
Yeah, right.
We're better countries.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. We're better off than a lot of countries, but I'm not going to go so far as to say that we're free.
No, but were you free even in laws?
Under natural law, there will be restrictions. There will be, you can only do what you're capable of doing.
10 Commandments, I'm telling you.
So, on natural law, if someone isn't capable of holding a job, and so what would happen to them?
Under natural law, why shouldn't I be able to go take a piece of land that isn't being used by anybody, by anywhere, in the vicinity anywhere, and utilize that property to my own good if I want to. If I want to start my own little homestead or something. Why should I be stopped from doing that?
And I wanted to say to Duke that, before there was all these government programs that took care of those people that couldn't work, there were charities that did that. And I think charitable people would step back up again where the governments decided to stick their nose in.
Oh, I don't agree with what they do at all. I'm just questioning, because earlier he said we had food waste and we should distribute a system to give it out. And that to me sounds like socialism.
No, it's you can have socialism, but it's not really socialism. Like it's socio-democracy. You can have both. You can have.
And did he really say give it out, or did he say distribute it better? I can't recall what he said.
Well, distribute. They
Yeah.
distribute it
Yeah,
now.
but let's stay and finish. Let's stay and finish because he was talking.
Right, and I've been in the logistics and distribution management part of it. Where, I understand because I've studied that part of it that competition is the biggest waste going because you've got all these companies competing against each other, and we're all working against each other instead of cooperating. Whereas we could, if we cooperated, we could have a system where everybody gets food efficiently instead of with so much waste, especially in trucking. Like as I said, so much money is wasted in trucking different shipments back and forth, and not just trucking, but train cars and stuff like that of ingredients needed to build this stuff, and it wastes so much diesel fuel. Why can't we bring it back down to the community level where we build stuff there, and that brings money back into our own economy instead of putting it into the corporate pocket?
They don't want that. They want control.
Exactly.
Besides, if you're really hungry and you want to eat, back in the day, you worked anyway.
Right on.
No, but there's people that flat out can't work. Disabled, you name it.
And that's where the charities and the churches stepped in.
And the
Yes.
neighbors. That's where the neighbors.
And the families. We got away from the family of grandma and grandpa still living with the family.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's what I
where the
wanted to
neighbors-
hear. I was scared you guys were going to say you needed a central government to distribute it.
Oh, man.
no.
If we care for one another, isn't that socialism?
Yeah, and we go back to that. Look at the Amish.
Yeah, but they're not forced to do it.
It don't matter. They won't.
I'm talking about their distribution system and their society and the way they work things.
You guys
That's a
all,
tight knit group right there. That Amish. That's a tight group.
let me ask you this. You guys all remember the show The Waltons?
Yes.
Okay. Here's your best example that I can give you of how it should be. Okay? I mean, I can remember back when my grandparents had their parents living with them till they died.
Damn.
Okay?
Yeah, but have you ever worked in a nursing home? A lot of people can't do that.
Not now. But we've eliminated that out of the society.
Can't or
I have a
won't?
lot of patience. Yeah,
Won't.
That's where I say
Won't.
can't or won't.
They could love their parents to death, but if you have to take care of your parents 24/7, it can really wear on you.
Right? But you have,
So it can work in 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's a choice.
Hey, suck it up.
It's not a choice. You have to do it in order to live.
Yeah.
You don't have to work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Increasingly daily, more and more, especially if you're in the lower industries like the service industries. Yes, you do.
Most people do. A lot of people do. Think about the ones that are struggling and need to. You know what I mean?
How many of you have read Walden?
I have.
Okay. So in Walden, Henry was seeing the beginning of the machine with the railroad. And he made note of how, yeah, you can pay to ride the rails, but when he did the math, it cost a man less in food to eat that he could trap or catch free. It cost a man less to walk the distance than the man who paid the pennies to ride the rails. And he saw that the machine was trading people their money for a convenience. And he saw the beginning of it, whereas now, of course, we're completely born inside of it. We don't know anything but this machine.
But cost. If you take your time in your life and you were to travel across the United States on foot, your time is worth a lot of money.
Understandable, but here's the thing. What you're trading is not just your hours and your dimes. You're essentially trading the control of your life in the hands of another at the press of a button for the mere convenience of riding their rails.
I'm fine with that because I have a choice whether or not to get on.
Then you will be very happy on the bus.
I don't have a bus. I have a car, but
You'll have a bus soon enough.
not in Nebraska. They would need a huge bus system. It would be impossible.
Talking about taking you to the FEMA camp.
He ain't talking about the city bus.
That is why, that makes sense though, why you are an advocate or a cheerleader for the machine.
What's wrong with the machines?
Oh, nothing. Just democide, the slaughter of 250 million people in the last 100 years. Just the little things. It's
Ruin of the
not a big
environment.
deal. Yeah, destruction of the entire planet that everyone has to live on, the exchanging of the atmosphere for pieces of stupid paper. I don't know, just a lot of little things that rub me the wrong way.
You believe in global warming?
I believe in global warming.
Yeah,
Well, you said there was destruction of the atmosphere.
that's part of it.
Yeah, naturally.
Industrialization has contributed to the toxicity of our environment. It's
How
documented.
we are made of carbon. We're carbon. It's just,
Plutonium is natural. Try
Yes.
taking a bath in it.
well, this is the way I look at it. We live pretty good lives. 100
Yeah.
years ago, if
tomorrow.
we were transferred back 100 years ago, we'd be miserable because we'd be missing the things we had today.
Nah,
We wouldn't know.
Nope.
No. I'm talking right now. You would know. Transferred back 100 years ago.
Okay.
But
I'll
you don't
take-
have to go
take
backwards
this
progression
from that.
wise. Progress forward with natural.
Yeah.
I think if we went back and got some more freedoms back, I'd be fine with that. But I just think we're doing pretty good.
Look at what we've done to China's environment just through our materialistic ways of how we had to get production done over the past 60 years.
Did we do that, or did they accept it?
They may have accepted it, but look, their environmental disaster is going to head our way. Just take a look at the global spin.
Did we have a bad environment, 60, 70 years ago? We destroyed Lake Michigan. We did all that stuff.
destroyed the Pacific with Fukushima.
Right. I was talking about the China part, but yeah, if you want to go back even further, absolutely. We got to look at all the lumber mills and the mercury spills.
And did humans learn from that?
No, we've progressed. We've moved even on further than that. So why?
No, we learn from our mistakes.
No, you haven't. No, we haven't. We've done the same thing. Only we've moved it. We've outsourced it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we've gotten stupider. I mean, at least they buried Chernobyl in concrete. They didn't fuck with Fukushima. They just let them handle it on, and look what it's done.
Yep, and they're still working, bro.
Learn. Fucking dump a billion tons of concrete on that fucking place and bury it, or do something. All the government should have been involved in that because it poisoned all the Pacific. Did we do anything? No. At least we tried to do something at Chernobyl.
But 50 humans will look back and go, "Oh, that was dumb. Let's not do that again."
All right. Okay. So we get dumb for a while, and then we come back and get smart. No, this is idiocracy, dude. This is idiocracy played out to a T. We're getting dumber and dumber and dumber.
Yeah.
I just think that everyone's overreacting a little. Everything
Who
is
are
getting
you,
worked
by
out.
the way? I've never met you.
I'm Big Duke.
That's Big Duke, bro. Lance has been on with this for a while now.
Okay.
I'm optimistic. Maybe it's just today I feel optimistic.
Well, you know, I'm glad you got hope, brother. I wish I had it. I wish I did.
Now, do I believe in the way our government's doing things? Hell no. Am I scared that some crazy shit's going to go down? Yeah, but I don't think it's Ebola.
It's a culmination of many factors, though.
It would take a perfect storm to destroy our country. A perfect storm with all types of shit going on at once.
Which part of the storm do you want to start with, other than Ebola? You've got the financial storm that's going on.
Let's have an EMP. That'll fucking solve everything.
I would welcome that. I would welcome that. You want to know why?
It would erase mortgage records everywhere.
No, it would wake up the American populace.
You know, we'd all be eating long pork with him.
No, we'd get by.
You live in Nebraska, bucko.
I
I
know.
just want to give a quick shout out to my boy Marco Digital Prophet, what's going on, my brother? We'll make room for you. Ain't nobody getting wild up in here, brother. It's all good. Come on, whenever you're ready. I don't know how long I'm going to run it for tonight. What time is it? 12 o'clock. We had a very good, been having a good chat last few weeks. Just wanted to thank all the panelists for coming on. I'm going to continue to run as long as I can. I just feel like dog doo-doo tonight. But I know there's a lot of shit going on, so. And I want to thank everybody who came out and listened. I know we got a lot of comments. I'm sorry that I didn't pay attention to the external like I normally do, but like I said, I apologize. I know we got more than almost 1,000 comments. We'll look at them real quick. Jason Brumfield, what's going on, brother? Long time no see. Brother Third, what's going on? Still hanging strong. Brother Truth, what's going on? Brother Mutt, 10 round, what's going on, man? Hope to see you soon. Hardy Prep, Save America's Liberty. Noble Watchman. Let's see if we have get anybody new.
Time
Everyone.
Wave Stew.
Oh yeah, I shouted out Stu a while ago. What's up, Stu? Gave you a link too, buddy, a while ago. Stu's a cool cat. Yeah, I think I got everybody new.
Okay.
Oh, so I want to make a special shout out to my boy Tommy Boy 9, as always, my soldier boy. I hope Mama's doing good. Let's see. Something you want to bring up? Something you want to bring? Oh, and avoid Tony Bushcraft. What's going on, brother? What'd you say, Cal?
I was just talking.
I think Kelly wanted to add something.
Oh, I was just curious about something that Joe was talking about before we went live. Something about some fish or dolphins off the coast of North Carolina. And I didn't know if he wanted to fill us in on that, on what that was about. I'm not sure if he's even there right now, so.
Not here, huh? Yeah, I'll be back. He will be back.
How many viewers do we have?
We had a lot of viewers, 36 right now. I think we had like almost 50 something earlier.
Damn right. It's kicking right now, too.
Yeah, brother, we've been kicking strong, man. We've had some good chats, good turnouts. I just want to thank everybody. Without them,
Absolutely, absolutely.
Hey,
it's all about the people in this chat, brother. It's all about the people.
And I've been trying to watch the comments. There's been lots of interesting ones going back and forth between each other. One that stuck out in my mind was that somebody said, it must be hard to hate America so much. And I don't think that was what the whole going back to nature's schedule was about. I don't think
I just don't understand why they would think that because you don't like your administration that you hate your country.
Yeah.
I'd like to say something, right? Actually, going back to nature is kind of what the founders did. They looked to nature to form natural law, and then they did that. They went back and looked at nature for the Second Amendment. Do you have the right to defend yourself? They went to nature to say, well, if someone goes in and attacks a mother cub of a bear den, she has a natural right to defend herself.
Right, but that natural law that they set up has been perverted over and over.
Exactly. I understand that.
At what point do we say no? Stop changing it.
I was just trying to get the debate going on what type of natural law everyone.
Well, again, think back to the language they used even in that document about the nature's God. I think was the language that was used in that. Was it the God of nature, or is it nature's God? But either way, it makes reference to another order, a natural order of things.
Exactly.
Let's not discount the fact that this country was founded by Freemasons. So what they wrote and what they did was encoded just like everything else they do.
Nah, Freemasons aren't that bad.
You'd say that.
I am one.
Great.
Okay.
Good for you.
Okay, I want to
Bigger
go.
deal.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you were still going back and forth. I apologize.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to acknowledge 10 Round Patriot. He said that was out of context, Kelly, and I'm sorry if I took it out of context. Like I said, I've been trying to watch things over there very quickly, so I apologize if I took it out of context. I did not mean to do so. You guys have been typing quite fast, and I'm trying to keep up over there, but it's been really hard.
How many people think there's no fixing what we got, the problems we got today? We
Not
can't
me.
fix.
I kind
It's all solvable. That's the frustration, is that it's all solvable.
Absolutely.
We just
Is
have
it
no
the-
intent.
I think it's going to have to get worse before it gets better.
The love of money is the root of all evil, and the people that control this country, that's all they care about. And basically the world now with this new world order crap, but it's all about money.
Money's just a human nature. Like, everyone cares about money, though. The more you have, the more you care.
Not really. There's other means of exchange, and like I said earlier, if they wipe out this population and it's only the trillionaires that exist, or whatever 1% they might call themselves, they can't operate under that system anymore, because the value of the dollar is what, 1 trillion? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
The money really is irrelevant then.
Yeah, it is.
But if they had, like,
Absolutely, but that's what
let's
they're
say,
striving for.
robots
More
to...
and more of it, but it's irrelevant. You're
But
absolutely right.
But if they had, like, let's say, robots to cater for their needs, why would they care about us?
And why would they care about money? Because robots don't want money.
No, but the money is for us, if you're looking at it that way.
But we're not here anymore at that point. I don't know.
Have servants.
Money's just the carrot on the end of the stick.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty optimistic lately. I think we're gonna start heading in the right direction. It might not be fast enough, but you have a government change is a very slow process. But if everyone worked, that's the one thing. We get everything so quick today. Americans, we don't have patience anymore. We want it changed now, and we see what the problem is. Fix it now. And maybe our government someday can work like that. That would be great. Like, that was stupid. Let's change that. But it doesn't work like that right now. It's shithole.
Chad's going to hate me for this. I'm a Christian guy, and I believe in the Bible. And I just want to read one quick part, because this is everything that we're going through. You guys have heard this a million times. You'll hear wars and rumors of wars. See not that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, which they are. The end is not yet, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines, which we're having, pestilence, which we're having, earthquakes in diverse places, which we're having. These are just the beginning of sorrows. Then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then many shall be offended and betray one another, which is happening right here on YouTube, and shall hate one another, which is happening right here. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. There is very little love left. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. I'm just ending there, but it's, I know that's a Christian book, a Christian writing. You guys can debate that however you want. But I know
Let him finish.
all this stuff is coming to pass, and it is something that we should look at, that maybe someone smarter than us knew what was coming, and we should prepare ourselves. And that's what preppers do. NWI,
Yep.
he prepares himself.
Yep,
Yeah.
no doubt.
All right, I'm done. Thank you.
No doubt. You always have the floor here, Brother Lance. You know that.
Amen, bro.
Mhm.
And I don't care that you read that more or less hate for it. Doesn't matter to me. I've read it. I know it's good
But
poetry.
the one thing I have to say is, do you think love is dead already? Because I don't think that. I see good things in the news every day.
You see good things in the news every day?
You do have to look for them, but there are good stories.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And
There
that's
is.
what we need to focus on, like as a society. The news gives us all the shit that will keep, what can we put on the news to make us watch for 3 hours straight and sell these commercials?
Well, why do you think they got ESPN? Why do you think they got football? Why do you think they got sports? It's for us to unwind, for us to think about something else. And that's
Yeah.
why they're there for us. And, people that complain about sports, yada, 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 it's like, hey, just don't watch it. Don't bash my fucking parade. Let me enjoy what I enjoy to watch. If you don't like it, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But don't fucking shit on my bowl of fucking Wheaties. You know what I mean? But like I said,
This is the way I
you
look at it.
can't overlook at the bad news, brother, and there's more bad than there's good.
This is the way.
Unfortunately.
I think a lot of people have been tuning out, including Tactical Tony. Didn't he
What do you
kind
mean?
of say he's taking a back seat and he's
He's
not
just
checking the news anymore? And
He's busy, bro. He's just got a lot of shit going on, that's all.
no, I mean, he said he hadn't been watching the news anymore and all that.
Right.
Well,
Because you don't know what to believe, dude.
there's so much coming at us that we're overwhelmed because it's all freaking bullshit.
Of course.
In my life today, I just, I think I'm all right. I'm not starving yet. There's no one infected around. Like, I'm optimistic that this will come to pass. I don't think it's the end of the world.
And all this, and I just want to say real quick, I'm just trying to clamp this shit down. There's a lot of comments that are in the external. I'm not going to say no names. But as far as I'm concerned with this religious talk, I think religious needs to be left alone. Religious needs to be let alone in church on Sundays. I don't think it's anyone's right to talk about people's religion. I don't think it's anyone's business to talk about someone's religion, what they believe in. I think you guys need to chill out on that.
Who said
Like I
that?
said, I'm not gonna say no names. I'm just talking about there's a couple of people that are asking people's religion, and I think it's none of their business what people believe in. I think religious is a personal thing. I'm not going to talk about religious. I am running this chat. G Mangos. So, like I said, we're not going to talk about religious in here. We're not even going to bring it up. Leave that shit in church. And like I said, I was just kindly asking, very nicely, leave those religious questions alone, and nobody's on the panel is going to answer them because it's not their, it's no one's business. It's no one's fucking job here to answer religion. So, next topic, or continue with what we're talking about.
Somebody help me. I can't get my camera on. No. Hey, Big Dude.
Yeah.
Ron Brown down here in Orlando, Florida. I want to say hello to you. I haven't met you on the panel tonight, so good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
And pleasure to see you too, man.
That's my boy Big Duke. If nobody knows Duke, he's been hanging with us on the Dragon probably well before the Ferguson chats. He helped me start up some chats when I was at the beach, and he's always got a good word, and we enjoy having him in. I'm sorry that I introduced him to you guys. I thought most of you guys knew who Big Duke was. He's been coming here for a while.
Excellent. Good to meet you tonight, big dude.
He played a big role for us on the Dragon, on the Ferguson. Big Duke had a inside, and he was close to the area, so
I almost went, but
he was a big help.
if I would have had a camera, I might have went.
Dude, that fucking place is scarred for life, bro.
Oh,
Scarred for life.
there's gonna be people moving because they're not gonna prosecute him.
No, of course not. No, I just feel bad for the businesses, man.
Yeah,
all the local businesses.
The whole town. It's gonna
The
be
whole town, yeah.
It's gonna be Detroit. That part of
Yeah.
St. Louis will be like Detroit.
They got the short end of the stick, bro. They really did. But I know we're not talking about that tonight. It's past, but
Now, I will be heading to the St. Louis area in about 10 days here, so if there's any
get your
requests for,
camera.
I was going to say, if there's any requests for anything that I need to go looking for, please let me know ahead of time.
Oh,
Like I
I'll
said,
let you know.
I'll be going in about 10 days,
Talk to
so...
Dick. Dick would tell you what to go see.
I follow that pretty close. I do
Okay.
know that, like, lately, you know, they still say there's protests, but it's pretty much the same people, and it's about an average of 40 people, and it gets bigger during the weekends. But I understand why they're mad, but I feel bad for the cops because not all of them are bad, and they got to put up with it all the time because it's right in front of the station, and their police chief is an idiot. He should resign. They need to restructure.
Yeah, he's a fucking douche.
Oh, he went out and started a thing where he went out and was going to march with them. And I'm like, what an idiot. They hate your guts, you know? And then they'll fight him. Or someone tried to fight him, and then they arrested like 20 people. And
yeah, it's not good. It's not good for either side. It's just...
It's a mess.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tornado.
They need new leadership. Go ahead.
I'd like to welcome Brian to the panel. He popped on while everybody was talking.
I'm sorry, I didn't even see him.
Hey.
What's up, brother Brian? Came through. Oh, boy.
My child finally went to sleep.
How they feeling? Is little man feeling better?
Yeah, I think they're doing better, man. Thanks for asking. How's yours doing?
Better, bro. Oh, crazy as shit, brother. Always. Fucking Wrigley Brothers in here, 24/7. I told you, Brian, MTV needs to come in here and fucking make a reality show about my family. It's fucking, they're off the chain. But anyway.
Let's do a wife swap.
You ain't got no wife. You just wanting one for a while?
Exactly.
Don't worry, everybody. Don't worry. This is the last 30 minutes of the show. This is where we go off the rails. So just, Brother Third was like, wow. A fucking conducted, structured chat. Wow. Can't believe it. So Third, you get your wish. We're going to go off the rails. Last 30 minutes of the chat. Anything goes. Whatever. Somebody wants to bring something up or that we haven't talked about, or
I do have something I want to talk about.
Absolutely.
I really wish we had someone that knew more about Hong Kong. Because, like, just reading the stuff that's going on, I don't even know what's going on.
Wild Iron Horse, everyone's link, that link I sent you it worked for everyone. I'll send it again. Do me a favor, someone. Send Wild Iron Horseman a link, please. Let me try to do this. Hold on, Glenn.
Joe, while they're doing that, could you please tell me what you were talking about with the dolphins or whatever off of North Carolina?
Oh, sharks.
Sharks.
Oh, sharks. Yeah, let's hear about it. My favorite.
Well, a bunch of dead sharks showed up on the beach, you know, North
No
Carolina.
shit.
That's all I know, yeah.
That's interesting.
Showed up.
I've never heard of a shark being beached.
Me either. That's the first thing that hit me. And then, you know, you got, hell, there was at least a dozen in that picture.
But they were still alive, or were they washed ashore because they were dead?
Yeah, I thought it said died, dead. Let me find it. Hang on. I'll get you something.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wild Arm, we got one more, brother. We'll save the spot for you if you want to come in. We got one more spot for you. We only got 9. We got one more. There we go. There we go. My man. Welcome everybody, Wild Iron Horseman.
Hi.
Welcome.
Glenn's getting his mic ready.
Yay! Thanks
There
for
we
the link.
go. You got it, brother.
Hey guys.
Hello.
You know everybody here.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're talking about this Ebola situation, of course, and you know, it's just I knew it was coming. We all knew it was going to be here, but ain't shit you can do about it. But like I was saying, you know, what we could have done to prevent the shit, you know, even though it's too late now. But that's what I was saying with all those, for an example, you know, 22,000 kids are coming from West Africa. Don't you want to get them checked out? You know, and that's how we originally were talking about. But it just, it hurts me, and it just shocks the shit out of me how they want to act with everything else, you know, with the drugs and the explosives and yada yada. But with this, that's so fucking critical. I don't know. I just feel like they didn't do shit about, which I'm not fucking surprised.
Because no one votes on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do y'all remember when AIDS came out, HIV back in the day, how it kind of freaked everybody out too, you know?
Yeah.
Not unless you're Magic
Yeah,
Johnson.
they figured the whole. They said the world population would be gone by 1985.
I was a little kid then, but you know, I was praying every night not to get that shit.
Just watch your shit. You'll be alright.
My mom used to eat little candies like caramel. These little caramel candies. They were like a weight suppressive candy back in the early '70s. They were called AIDS.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember those things, man. I ate too many of them when I was a kid once, and boy, did I have the shits. Oh, I bet I didn't leave that toilet for 3 days. Yeah, I remember those.
Also, the freaking mad cow disease. Where'd that go? You know, how about SARS? How about all this other shit they've thrown at us?
It's still there.
Let me see.
Just isn't in the news cycle.
Okay.
Right.
SARS was something I asked about with the gentleman from the CDC, and he said it was mainly an Asian problem with people. He said the one problem they really did have with SARS is that they were taking people's temperatures, and people would down a bunch of Tylenol before they got on the plane, liquid Tylenol, and then when they were on the plane about to land, they would drink more liquid Tylenol, so when they got off the plane, they didn't have a fever either. So they were scamming the system, so to speak.
Yeah.
So.
Brother Third, you don't need no damn link. You come in this bitch whenever you want.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, if we are getting full, I will be happy to step out and let somebody else jump in for a while.
See ya.
No,
Just kidding.
no, it's cool.
No, let's let somebody else in here.
Well, you don't mind. I mean, like I said, I am going to
do not mind at all. It has been a blast, guys. I've enjoyed the conversation, and we'll let someone else come in.
That sounds like Miss Cal's tired.
See you, Kelly.
A little bit. I'll see y'all later.
Thank you for all your help.
Good night, guys.
See you in an hour.
No, bedtime.
You hear that truth? You hear that truth? You hear that truth? All right, Third. Ninja your ass up in this bitch. I would love to see it. So let me get some.
And she asks a question and she leaves when I was about to get everything. Everything's
here with me. I was a lone wolf up in this bitch.
Hey, gee, she asked me a question, and then right when I'm about to put it up, like
Oh,
now,
JoJo answering.
she leaves.
JoJo don't play around. That bitch will stay up till 7 o'clock in the morning with you.
It says dozens of dead sharks wash up on the North
I
Carolina
wonder how
beach.
fucking big they were, Joe. Did they say how big those fuckers were?
Well, let's see. According to the picture, I'm sure they're gonna have some measurements in here somewhere. Let me read it. Dead sharks found in
I'm
Brunswick
surprised I
County.
didn't see that shit. Yeah,
50
shit
dead
left.
sharks.
Where were they? What
Oak
kind of shark?
Island.
Like bull
50
sharks?
dead
Or...
sharks.
Well,
Let me see. I'm just still reading.
Let me Google this shit out.
I got the link right there.
Oh, you do? You're the man. You are the
Yeah,
man.
bottom.
All right. That's crazy. I got so much shit opened up. If you've already read it, did they say what could have happened? I mean, why?
Nope. Very, very short story.
Oh, those are little, man. Those are little guys.
How do you know? You don't know. You don't
Because
have
I'm
any,
looking at. Would you like me to
have
screen
any
share?
size relation here.
All right, I'm gonna screen share this for everybody so they can take a look. I'm sure the audience would love to see it.
You got all kinds of
just hate
different
it when
sizes. You got big ones.
I'm listening. I hate it when I'm listening to a story and they're talking about something and I can't see pictures. That pisses me off. But here at the Dragon, we'll make that shit happen. No worries. I'll be like CNN up in this bitch.
Let's see them.
They should have.
All right, patience, baby. Like I told 10 Rounder. If you're patient, good things happen.
They should have put something down there with them to give some size reference. Or at least
Well,
stand
yeah, exactly. But do y'all see that, Bri?
Nope.
You don't see that? Oh, that's what
I'm on my phone, bro.
Well,
You know
other
I'm
people. Can anyone see this?
Okay, now I can see it. Yeah, it's the same thing I got up.
I should have known before I asked Brian.
I can see Joe though. Why don't you show me, Joe?
You can't see shit. You're on your little fucking 3x5 fucking phone. You can't see a damn thing but fucking contacts and fucking you're on a chat.
That's the same.
This
That's
is
the
what
link
you're
I
seeing.
put over here on the internal.
Well, everyone, this is what we're seeing here, and if you guys can see this, they saw 50 dead sharks. Range in size from 1 foot to 5 foot in length.
Let me see.
That's all right. I got good eyes. My doctor said.
Okay, I was looking for numbers. Well, I was reading fast.
I got your back, JoJo. I got you
spelled out. I see in a letter.
I got your back. No worries.
Hey, I was thinking,
you know what? 5-foot shark can fuck you up.
Yeah, no, you're right, Joe. A fucking tube. You're right.
Can the mosquitoes transfer the Ebola since it's bodily fluids?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, they can.
What did he ask?
Can a mosquito transmit Ebola?
Damn good question. I'm sure they could. I'm sure they could.
Yeah.
Those fucking. I'm sure.
You know why you swell up when you get a mosquito bite? It's just like when we pump oil out of the earth, we pump in salt water and pump the oil out, you know?
Good night, Kevin. Thanks for hanging out with us, buddy.
The mosquito injects you with formic acid, forcing your blood into the mosquito's body. And that's what that is under your skin, is a reaction to the formic acid. And there's an easy fix for that. All you have to do is occlude the oxygen with anything from mud to Vaseline to any kind of ointment, you know. Just keep it covered so oxygen can't get in there, and it quits itching.
Well, real quick before we wrap it up, it's time to do shout-outs. I just want to make a shout-out to the whole Dragon. I want to shout out to all the panelists. Thank you guys for coming on. Kelly, thank you for the assistance. Brother Chad, Duke, Lance, thanks for hanging out with me, brother. Brian, Wild Iron, thanks for showing up, brother. JoJo, Stan, I just want to thank everybody who came out and listened. Shout outs to Brother Mule and Duke. We're going to start with you this week, brother.
I'll just give a shout out to everyone on the panel. We had a good chat tonight, I thought.
Oh, great chat. Great chat.
So, good job. That's it.
That's it, bro, Lance. Good next, brother.
Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the Green Dragon for always hosting these awesome chats. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Amen. Brian?
I want to give a shout out to Mr. Chavez today in the Senate committee. How he stood up and basically laid into that bitch. That's all I want to say.
All right, Modern.
Big G.
Yes, sir.
I'm shouting out Big G.
That's what's up, my brother.
Rebel and Rebel Solutions. Got some good stuff going on there. HDP's putting out good material. Tony's got some stuff, good stuff going on out there. Mule, everybody in the Dragon. Still kind of wondering where TPP's at, but
yeah, I know HTP was talking about that Sunday night, man. We were all wondering. If anyone's got some information, please let us know.
Is that Kansas y'all are talking about?
No.
Political port.
Political port.
I saw her tweeting. I saw her tweeting the day after. So.
Right on.
Can y'all kind of give me a heads up?
Yeah, we'll talk to you. Hold on. JoJo.
Yo.
You're next, brother. Shout out.
Mule Team 66. Thanks, George, for putting on the chat.
Yes, sir.
A shout out to all the panelists, Kelly, Big Duke, Bro Lance. Let me see. Stan, Glenn, Brian, HDP, Tactical Tony 702, and the Swedish Paracord Nuts. Okay, and Truth Seeker and Cowboy Homie.
No doubt, no doubt. Brother Stan.
Well, I'd just like to thank all the guys here. Always good to get the brain stirring and get different points of view. I'd like to give a shout out to the groups like the Green Dragon here, who host the chats for us and lets this happen. Lets us all get together. All my other peeps out there, all the other groups that I hang out in once in a while, you know, the Insomnia Shuffle and stuff like that. Shout out to them, and I like to keep the dialogue going amongst everybody, and then start to maybe open arms, I guess, you know. Just the way we have, like, with me being up here in Canada, and I don't know who else from the panels in Canada, but talking with you guys down in the U.S., it's really good to see that we're all in the same frame of mind.
No doubt. Good?
Thanks, Stan.
Good. Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you for all the panelists, everyone who showed up and helped us out. These chats could not be, we couldn't do them without you all. That's what we do it for. We come out and we like to educate everyone and get people ready and just make people aware of the situations. We're not God, and we don't tell you all what you all need to do. It's just what you should do. Shout outs to the whole Dragon, Brother Mule, Brother Reb, Sting, Tone, the whole clique, 5% crew, Brother Dooley, Brother Hick, Mario, Wisconsin Militia, big shout outs. We thank you for what you do, California, and to all the other militias out there that we forget about, that we don't give them credit. Big shout outs to Brother Truth, Cowboy, Mutt. We love you all. And as far as the other night goes, I wasn't trying to offend anyone. And I want to apologize to anyone that I offended. I didn't mean for any disrespect. I just, wish that all like-minded people would just get on the same page. And I understand I can't make people get along. And even though I wish we would all, be on one side, because I think numbers mean everything. And I think that if we have the numbers, we can accomplish everything and anything for that matter. So good night. We love you all. God bless. And we'll see you
Thanks,
next time.
G.
You got it, brother.
Okay, G.